Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Bemi for the Future channel. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening depending on where you are watching from. I'm going to be reading the news shortly, but if you have been watching without subscribing, please click the red button below and turn on notification so that anytime we upload you will be notified. Thank you. Yes, as Lebanon investigates the devastating blast that took place more than 24 hours ago, officials have pointed to a possible cause, a massive shipment of agricultural fertilizer that authorities say was stored in the port of Beirut without safety precautions for years, despite warnings by local officials. Documents received by CNN revealed that the shipment of 2,750 metric tons of ammonium nitrate arrived in Beirut on a Russian owned in 2013. The ship was named the MV Rosos, was destined for Mozambique but stopped in Beirut due to financial difficulties that also created unrest with the ship's Russian and Ukrainian crew. Once it arrived, the ship never left Beirut port, according to Lebanon's Director of Customs, Badri Dahar, despite repeated warnings by him and others that the cargo was the equivalent of a floating bomb. Due to the extreme danger posed by these stored items in unsuitable climate conditions, we reiterate our request to the port authorities to re-export the goods immediately to maintain the safety of the port and those working in it. Daher's predecessor, Saifik Merel, wrote in 2016 letter addressed to the judge involved in the case. Lebanese authorities have not named the MV Rosos as the source of the substance that ultimately exploded in Beirut on Tuesday, but Prime Minister Hassan Diab said the devastating blast was caused by 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate. He added that the substance has been stored for 6 years at the port's warehouse without any safety measure, endangering the lives of citizens. Lebanon's General Security Chief also said a highly explosive material had been confiscated years earlier and stored in the warehouse, which is just a few minutes' walk from Beirut's shopping and nightlife districts. Tuesday's massive explosion, which rocked the city, left at least 135 dead and 5,000 injured. On Wednesday, Lebanese Information Minister Manel Abdel Samad said there are papers and documents dating back to 2014 proving the existence of an exchange of information about the material confiscated by Lebanese authorities, she told Jordan state-owned channel Al Malaka that the exchange is being considered in the relation to the potential cause of the deadly blast. Asked in a telephone interview if there are any early findings in the investigation related to the cause of the explosion, she said there are no preliminary results or clarification. In 2013, the MV Rosu set off from Batumi, Georgia, destined for Mozambique, according to the vessel's path and the account of its captain Boris Provkolchev. It was carrying 2,750 metric tons of ammonium nitrate, an industrial chemical commonly used around the world as a fertilizer and in explosives for mining. The Moldovan flagship stopped in Greece to refuel. That's when the ship's owner told the Russian and Ukrainian sailors that he had run out of money and they would have to pick up additional cargo to cover the travel costs, which led them on a detour to Beirut. The vessel was owned by a company called Teto Shipping, which members of the crew said was owned by Igor, a businessman who resided in Cyprus. Once in Beirut, the MV Rosos was detained by local port authorities due to gross violations in operating a vessel, unpaid fees to the port, and complaints filed by the Russian and Ukrainian crew, according to the Seafarers Union of Russia, affiliated with the International Transport Workers Federation or ITF. It never resumed its journey. The sailors had been on the ship for 11 months with few supplies, according to Prokoshev. I wrote to Putin every day. Eventually, we had to sell the fuel and use the money to hire a lawyer because there was not help. The owner did not even provide us with food or water, Prokoshev said in a radio interview with Echo Moscow on Wednesday. They would eventually abandon the ship, according to our information. At the time on board of the dry cargo ship, there were particularly dangerous goods, ammonium nitrate, which the port authorities of Beirut did not allow to unload or transfer to another ship, it added. In 2014, it was reported that a publication tracking maritime activity described the ship as a floating time bomb. According to emails exchanged by Prokoshev and a Beirut-based lawyer, Chabal, who represented the crew in Lebanon, the ammonium nitrate was unloaded in Beirut's port by November 2014 and stored in a hangar. It was then kept in that hangar for 6 years, despite repeated warnings from the director of Lebanese customs, Badri Daha, of the extreme danger that the cargo posed. But public court documents obtained through the prominent Lebanese human rights activist Wadera and his predecessor Mia turned to Beirut's court to help dispose of the dangerous goods multiple times from 2014 upwards, it was seen in the memos. At this point, he even offered to sell the dangerous cargo to the Lebanese army, according to court documents, but to no avail. The port authorities should not have allowed the ship to offload the chemicals into the port, he said. The chemicals were originally going to Mozambique and not Lebanon. On Wednesday, the Director General of Beirut Port told local television OTV, "We stored the material in warehouse number 12 at Beirut Port in accordance with a court order. We knew that they were dangerous materials, but not to that extent." Kratem too said that the issue of removing the explosive material had been brought up by state security and customs, but that the issue had not been resolved. Customs and state security sent letters to the authorities asking to remove or re-export the explosive materials 6 years ago, and we have been waiting since then for this issue to be resolved, but to no avail, Kratem said. Maintenance was conducted on the warehouse door just hours before the blast on Tuesday. He added, "We were asked to fix a door of the warehouse by state security, and we did that at noon, but what occurred in the afternoon, I have no idea," he said. Let us know your thoughts on the Beirut bomb explosion, the casualties that were lost, and the preventions that they could have taken place.